guys, Jonah here, back with another alcohol-free beer review. I'm still unsure as to my kind of inside liver stroke kidney stroke bladder problems is. The pain is getting better. But yeah, I really don't want to have that crippling pain that knocked me over. So I'm on the alcohol-free beers. I might try and go for low beers and then maybe some really super strong beers. But at the moment, it's alcohol-free for me. So I'm going to do some reviews. And thank you. I have had some really good response. And people have given me some ideas of what to buy. And I'm going out later on today. It is voting day. I've just finished work, and I'm working from home today. So yeah, I'm going out to the supermarket, Chavster, no, Asda, in the UK. I'm going to see what alcohol beers I can get. One of the problems I find is these alcohol-free beers tend to be, you have to buy like 10 or 12. Like you have to buy a case of them. I just want to buy one so I can try it. What happens if it's crap? I don't want to. And I like to have a bargain. I'm buying an alcohol-free beer that costs the same amount as a normal beer with alcohol in it. Okay, you've got to remove the alcohol or do something else to it, I guess, more processing, but don't have to put so much carbohydrate and grain and stuff in. But yeah, with modern beers, I guess the predominant cost is the hops itself, which kind of brings me on to today. We have got this bad boy, Brewdog Punk IPA, used to be called Punk AF or alcohol free. What else could it stand for? AF. Anyway, there she blows. It is not completely alcohol free. It is half a percent. But that's good enough for me. I think recently they were trying to say alcohol free, which to me means zero, no alcohol at all. But they were trying to change it from half a percent to under 1%. Which is weird because if you drink 1% beers, that's like having 5% beer, right? So alcohol free, it is not alcohol free. And they say postmodern classic. Some people say this is the beer that started it all. If you believe the propaganda by Brewdog themselves, and I have to say, I'm not a complete fan of Brewdog. Their beers are okay. They are definitely in the American style, so why copy the Americans? But fair dues. That's the way things are going. IPA in general, but IPAs were around in England, maybe not in Scotland, but I'm sure they were in Scotland too, for absolutely years before it went to America. But the new wave of hops, I guess, sort of 90s into the 2000s, and the rise of the American IPA. Yeah, in the UK, Brewdog is, yeah, one of the kind of fathers of IPAs. I guess similar to Sierra Nevada and others in, I guess, the Alchemist and people like that for different reasons in America. There are breweries that you know what they are. And Brewdog, love them or hate them, they are here to stay. Well, or are they? Because they've been closing a few Brewdog establishments, pubs down, which doesn't bode well. Maybe they're not making as much money as perhaps they thought they were going to, and that's fine with me. But yeah, they are good beers, and that's you know, whether you like the politics and how they treat their staff and all that kind of stuff, and their marketing strategies, uh, and you could say they're killing squirrels, all sorts of weird stuff that Brewdog does. Not a fan of that, but the beers, yeah, the beers are cool. And I've had Punk IPA, the original and the updated version, because, dear viewer, if you type in DIY space dog, DOG, um, you can get, well, assuming they're not telling porcupines, and that I wouldn't put it past Brewdog to not tell you the entire truth. And they don't tell you exactly um, how to make the beers, but you can get the recipes, you can get the hops and the malts and that kind of stuff. They don't really go into the length of times and step mashing and all that kind of stuff. So they're not giving everything away, but at least you can find out what the hops are. So I could not find what's in the alcohol-free version on DIY Dog, but I have found what's in the current version, which began in 2010. Because there was an earlier version, like I said, which I've tried back in 2007, and it was a bit less. But anyway, the hops, this is ridiculous. I'm reading from my screen over here, so I apologise, dear viewer, if I'm not looking at you. And we will get round to drinking beer, don't worry. So there is Chinook and Atnum or Atarnum. Atarnum. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. They were in the original, and they're bittering. Then you have some more Chooks, some more Artnum as flavour additions, and the new ones, the new hops. They've added Simcoe in there, Nelson Sauvin. They've added some Cascade, and they've added some Amarillo. And they're all late stage hops, whirlpool and dry hopping. So absolutely shed load of hops. It's like absolutely ridiculous. Let me just fast forward this a little bit, dear viewer. Yeah, I'm looking at the next one. No, it doesn't have the alcohol-free version. However, I have one here. So let me get this into a glass. Let me put my camera back on. So weirdly, I don't know if it's alcohol free, but can you see it's a bit squidgy? It's not very carved, but that might be because live beers, real ales with the real yeast, um, tend to do a little bit of fermentation in the can if they don't kill the yeast off. That is right. We're going for the tulip of doom. Oh, and the other thing is, because I like a bargain, I found these on offer. They were water damage or beer damage. Let me do one of these. Haven't done one of these for a while. And that'll be the front of the video, as you'll no doubt have seen already, dear viewer. And this has been in the fridge, so a bit of a haze. Look at that though, really super clear. Unfortunately, not much of a head to speak of. A fingernail's worth of head. Yes, so I got, now what was it? Was it a 10? It's either an 8-pack or a 10-pack of alcohol-free beers. If you're in the UK, you'll see them in the supermarket in a cardboard box. I think it was a 10-pack actually, retailing at £9 British, so under £1 per can, and they were doubled up. So you know, 5 of each essentially. And what had happened was one of the cans, I think, had exploded, and they'd put it in a plastic bag because the box was all damaged and all that kind of stuff. So I got it retailing for £9. I got it for £6 for 9 alcohol-free beers. And because I'm only interested in doing the reviews, I had 5 beers essentially. So £6 for 5 beers, just over £1 per beer, and then plus doubles. Now, aroma is a bit odd, I have to say. There's a lemoniness. There's also a hedgerow kind of thing going on. It does smell quite hoppy, I have to say. But it doesn't smell like the normal Punk IPA, which is quite, I would say, quite Cascade heavy on the nose. And assuming it's the same hopping schedule, there might be some Amarillo on the nose as well that I should be getting, but I'm not getting it. There's a bit of a musty smell as well, which is a bit weird. Anyway, chin chin, let's dive in. 0.5% Punk IPA. It's good to be back. It really is good to be back. Cheers and beers from Unclejona to you. Wow. So there is quite a kick, a hop kick. Lemoniness. There is that kind of peachiness going on there in the background. Yeah, I'm surprised how hop heavy and hop forward this beer is. Does it taste like Punk IPA? Not exactly, not really. But does it taste like beer? Does it taste like an American style IPA? Yes, it does. It's a little bit thin, though, I have to say. But a good amount of hopping. There's definitely hops in this bad boy. They haven't skimped on the hops. Is it a double or a triple IPA or one of those real bad boys? Over 100 IBUs? No, it's not. It's not that at all. But it has got enough hops in there to go, ooh. I have to say, giving Brewdog its dues, this is not bad at all. There is something though in the background, which I'm not sure what it is. It's definitely on the nose, and I'm getting it a little bit on the mouth. Is a kind of mustiness. Um, I'm not sure why that is. Let me double check. Maybe I got this. Maybe one of the things was cheap. No, in date, September. So this is definitely in date too. It's just weird. It's a kind of mustiness, maybe a damp or not dank in the taste of hops, but in the sense of hops, I should say. Damp, like a damp kind of smell, which is weird. Because it's coming from what was inside the can. This is not what caused the explosion or the water damage to the box that I would have had otherwise. Actually, I probably wouldn't have bought it otherwise. I am actually, as alcohol-free beers go, I am actually quite enjoying this. Um, and it is a 0.5%, so that's on par with something like a Shandy Bass, which I might try and find because I did a review on that a few years ago. Um, and I remember we all used to drink that and say, "Oh, I'm so drunk," when we were about 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever it was. That was only 0.5% too. But I'm actually, this is not bad. I would I would actually drink this um, if it turns out that my kidneys have gone for a Burton, um, which I hope they haven't. I really hope I can drink because what a sorry state life would be if you couldn't drink alcohol anymore. Wow. That, ugh, I don't really want to think about it. But maybe not so bad if there are beers like this around. It's not perfect though. Totally different style of beer. However, this, he says, putting the actual glass down, this beer is much more similar to what it is supposed to be than the Guinness is. Um, oh, it's gone out of focus. It's focusing on my visage. Fair play. Anyhow, I am impressed with that beer, I have to say. And I do have some others. As I say, I've got 5 beers from the Brewdog set, shall we say, to review, and they'll be upcoming over the next few days. And I am going to go to Chavster and try and see what they've got on offer, alcohol-free wise. Oh, and I was out at a restaurant over the weekend. Was it? Yeah, wow. I should have told you. Wow, even got a pelch out of it. Haven't done one of those for a while. Wow. Um, yes, and I had Peroni Nastro Azzurra 00, alcohol free. As I was out and about and having a lovely leisurely lunch, I didn't want to do a beer review, but that was pretty good as well. That tasted very much like the normal Peroni beer. Um, so I was quite impressed with that. Um, yeah, the only one that's not been that great is the Guinness, and that's a shame because that is one of my favourite full fat alcohol beers. But the alcohol free version didn't really get on with it. Anyway, never mind. Dear viewer, I am well over 15 minutes and I probably shouldn't be. But waxing lyrical to you guys is really what I like doing, and I haven't done it for nearly a month now, so I want to get churning some content out again. If this is your first time listening to Unclejona's dulcet tones, then please contemplate subscribing to the channel. I'm going to be doing quite a few alcohol-free beers, but hopefully when I get the all clear, I'm going to be back on the alcohol. Anyway, this has been Uncle Jonna. Cheers and beers to you all. Take care of yourselves. Tell your loved ones that you do love them, because you never know how long we have on this mortal coil. And while you're at it, why not drink some beers?